The shriek of my tires squealing to a stop startled me out of my panicky dash. I was already late for the most important job interview of my life, tie hanging like a frayed banner, sweat dripping down my collar. When I ran to my pickup and saw a 6-foot wooden fence, shining with new stain, had appeared across my driveway, overnight. Not a rickety barricade, but a bolted crossbeam reinforced fortress, running from sidewalk to sidewalk. A brazen wall teasing my every scheme standing next to it, arms crossed. Sipping iced coffee from a mug, emblazoned HOA sovereign, was Eleanor Price, president of our homeowners association and self-appointed arbiter of suburban perfection. You'll have to park somewhere else. Daniel, she said, her voice glacial with victory, this driveway shatters community symmetry. I white-knuckled the steering wheel, stunned into silence. This wasn't a fancy, it was a declaration of war, and I was its first casualty. I stepped out, gravel crunching under my feet, my heartbeat pounding. The fence was no accident or gardening. Misha Pit was intentional siege bored into concrete, with prosaic precision, reeking of cash and intention. Eleanor's flower-print sundress and huge sunglasses couldn't hide her delight as she pointed to her handiwork like it were a civic work of art. "You're welcome," she said. "The board voted unanimously that your driveway is trespassing on HOA grounds. This brings order back to things." My jaw clenched. I nearly laughed, but the stakes flattened. Any humor? This interview is senior engineer position. At a leading infrastructure firm was my chance at stability. After years of freelance work, I'd rescheduled twice. Missing it could kill me. "This is my property," I said, voice low. She smirked. "Not Anna Marie, it's the communities." She sauntered off, leaving me stuck in my own home. My house stood on a private parcel outside the HOA's jurisdiction, a fact I knew as a civil engineer who memorized every plat and zoning map when I bought the land a decade ago. My driveway carved from my deed was mine, untouched by their rules. Yet Eleanor stood there reveling in her power trip as if her clipboard rewrote reality. I called the city's zoning office, but they offered a sluggish, "We'll check in 2 weeks, 2 weeks." My career could implode in 2 days. I parked on the street, sprinted to the interview tie as you breathless, and recovered a callback after my disarray. But when I was shaking hands with the panel, Eleanor's superior smirk scorched my brain. Her fence a splinter that evening, I paced the periphery of my land with a flashlight along each marker that I had years earlier. My property dated prior to the HOA creep subdivision, a gamble upon which some developer made off selling peace with neighborhood in the newsletter's edicts concerning landscapes. Eleanor's iron grip. My 3 deeds home, Eastern Strip and old farmland, were my shield. Most didn't know, but the HOA's control was shaky, built on leased parcels from a defunct holding company I'd bought several at auction years ago. Dirt cheap planning future projects. One parcel, a jagged triangle slicing through the neighborhood, held a secret. It ran under Eleanor's house. Her living room, her prized koi pond, her manicured patio. She'd built her empire on my land, and her fence blocking my easement was the spark to ignite my counterstrike. I didn't face her. I let her wave mockingly behind her fence, adding another citation on my lawn for unapproved gravel texture. I smiled, picking up the notice, my plan crystallizing. She thought she'd caged me. She didn't know she'd trespassed on a battlefield I owned. I dug into my files, pulling the archived plat parcel 204. See, checked it. Eleanor's house squatted on my land, its foundation straddling my deed. The HOA's lease on surrounding parcels had lapsed 18 months prior renewal. No bought her fence encroached on my easement, and her house was a legal squatter. I called my attorney, Alex, a zoning shark who'd previously compelled a city to redefine its flood maps she constructed on your property. He gasped. I detailed the lapsed lease, the easement, her barricade. "She's in trouble," he said, glee in his tone. "Document everything, photos, drone shots, timestamps." I pulled out my measuring wheel, drone and plats, mapping each inch. The drone's video overlaid with zoning lines was conclusive. Eleanor's house patio and pond were mine. I submitted a boundary confirmation to the county, then marched to City Hall flannel and jeans concealing my purpose. The clerk, reading my deeds, grumbled, "This will be a mess." I asked for a zoning inspection on Eleanor's property, citing structural encroachment, standard procedure. I explained. She stamped my forms, setting a visit I did not inform. Eleanor let her tape another letter to my mailbox, this one for offset birdbath looks. I took pictures of her, adding it to my legal arsenal. Days later, the zoning inspector called. Beused, this Eleanor woman shut me out of her yard. Threatened to call the sheriff over koi pond photos. I gave him my deeds. His eyes opened wide. Her house is out of bounds. We staked the lines. Orange markers sprinkled on her lawn, outlining her house as an intruder. Drone shots froze her gnomes in terror. My lawyer smiled at the file evict her or litigate. I shook my head. Neither yet. I had a more aggressive strategy. Sell the land under her castle. Let the purchaser evict her. I posted parcel 204C publicly with zoning information and aerials highlighting Eleanor's house within 48 hours. 3 bidders offered a developer seeking condos, a technology firm, envisioning a solar hub, and a competing HOA seeking leverage. All had deep pockets and no affection for Eleanor's squatting mansion. Eleanor, clueless, ratcheted up her crusade. She posted a notice on my door for lopsided lawn tufts requiring compliance in 48 hours. She called an emergency HOA meeting, handing out flyers accusing me of annexing community assets and calling me a rogue developer. Some neighbors, seduced by her drama, whispered nervously. One asked, "You're not bulldozing us, right?" I assured him. But Eleanor's fear-mongering caused unease. Then an anonymous email hit my inbox. Eleanor's house never went final inspection foundation. Oversized no variance filed check city archives. 204C deviation. I had to run down to the records office. The clerk pulled out a folder with a flag incomplete. Eleanor's contractor had poured out her foundation without consent, obtaining only a temporary occupancy permit, never finished. Her house was legally uninhabitable, adding to her trespass on my land. I read over the documents, sent them to Alex, and grinned. This was not just a dispute, this was a guillotine. Alex said, "Force her out for zoning infractions or seize the land she's worked on." I chose spectacle. I paid a sign company to make a for sale land, only sign posted and staked on Eleanor's lawn, right in front of her much-cherished hydrangea. She saw it while she was pruning her scream-shattering windows. She ripped it up, stormed my porch, and pounded on the door, waving the sign. "This is harassment," she screamed. I opened the door. "Calm, I'm selling my land, your home just so happens to be on it, without permits." Her face went white, words failing. She ran sign crumpled at the next HOA meeting conducted in a park to accommodate the crowd. Eleanor read a manifesto blaming me for land piracy and suburban terrorism. Mid-rant a neighbor. A retired attorney stood. "Eleanor, did your home make final inspection?" Silence filled the air. She stuttered, evading, but suspicion spread like fire. Rumors circulated. Neighbors asked questions about her rule. She attempted one final stand, where she hosted a Save Our Community rally. 15 supporters waved signs, such as "Stop Corporate Greed." Most residents ignored her, cutting lawns or drinking lemonade. The rally died down. Eleanor stood alone, screaming at passing cars. Then the hammer struck. A black Mercedes pulled up, a woman in a tailored suit, emerging, a rep from Horizon Ventures, my best bidder. Their offer, triple the land's original price, came with an addition. Their consultant was a former zoning chief who'd battled Eleanor's contractor. "We've waited for this," she said with a smirk. I signed, transferring parcel 204C. Horizon did not hesitate to send Eleanor a certified letter demanding immediate discussions regarding her house's unauthorized presence. She ignored it. A second letter by legal crier stated land reclamation. Eleanor's swagger disappeared. Her clipboard turned into a shield. Her patrol's lackluster Horizon filed a reclamation suit demanding her house's removal or buyout at the land's skyrocketed value. Far in excess of her means, legal fees depleted her. Her husband, long silent, cracked at a community open house Horizon, hosted on the parcel amid models of solar hubs and plazas. He took a mic from Eleanor mid-rant. "We didn't check the deeds, we built on land we didn't own. This is our fault." He dropped the mic, walked off, leaving her speechless. The crowd stared. Her allies drifted away. Her social media went dark. Her lawn wilted. Her newsletters ceased. The court ruling came swiftly. The judge, examining deeds, inspections, and Horizon suit, instructed Eleanor to leave within 30 days. Her foundation's encroachment rendered her home uninhabitable. She couldn't pay the land's new cost. An eviction notice posted on her door over a welcome home plaque sealed her fate. A moving van arrived. Workers loaded her furniture silently. Eleanor appeared last, sunglasses concealing red eyes. Her stance, brittle. She drove away without a look. Her fence, a forgotten relic. Horizons project blew me a solar-paneled plaza, a community garden, and a plaza. I became a zoning consultant, helping to craft a space that celebrated freedom rather than control. Neighbors, formerly cowed, apologized for their inaction, confessing Eleanor's charm had blinded them. The HOA fell apart. A new board chaired by Mr. Delgado set transparency as their priority, axing fines and regulations, such as the ban on windmills. A chime freedom festival chimed with defiant bells. A fence to future news feature went. Viral memes crowning me. Land King Reddit threads buzz. Eleanor fenced his driveway. He owned her house. I didn't revel in her ruin. Just the truth. Triumph Horizons Plaza opened with a plaque. Boundaries build progress. Eleanor's pond became a wildflower patch. Bees dancing one night. I saw her in a sedan, staring at sight eyes hollow. She drove away, a ghost of her ring at a plaza. Barbecue, neighbors laughed, kids played, and I raised a glass to a community unchained. The fence was gone, but its lesson lingered. Truth, not tantrums, redraws the lines. My dog slept, the plaza glowed, and I smiled. Not for victory, but for a neighborhood reborn, one deed at a